Oh, welcome everyone. Welcome. Hey Patel, how's it going, buddy? I can't show the live image in regards to TV because of copyright, but I do show the live data that we have available. We have the driver tracker. It's the next best thing. So. But yeah, hope everyone's had a good weekend, or is it enjoying their Saturday? Let's go into a proper practice session, not like that rubbish, although Charles Leclerc did bin it, but we had in practice 2 yesterday. Be interesting to see if there is genuine pace in that Mercedes this weekend, which has shocked me, to be honest. And then, yeah. Why won't that move? There we go. No use then. Well, Patel, you'll struggle to find it elsewhere. It'll get taken down pretty quickly. So let's go to our F1 page. Let's change the font. Yeah, do you know what, HR? I'm the same. I've really grown to watching the race through the data more than I do the actual TV coverage. Right, let's just move that over a bit. There we go, so we can see everything there. But yeah, I feel like I don't think I could watch F1 now without this data. But yeah, it should hopefully get an interesting practice session today. Let me just quickly see. Can we zoom in a bit? Kind of. Yeah, interesting to see where the Red Bulls actually are. Were they sandbagging a little bit on yesterday in practice 1, or was that a genuine pace on a soft tyre? We will see some quali runs this session. So yeah, we'll see. But still lots of reaction to the cost cap. Just listening to see what people are saying about the cost cap. So Ferrari are not happy, of course. They think there should be stronger penalties. Mercedes is staying very kind of... Toto Wolff's playing very coy. He's trying to be the professional about it. And then Zach Brown has also come out and said it's not a harsh enough penalty. So Otmar Safmir, I think that's his last name, he said it is okay. But yeah, interesting to see what up and down the grid their opinions are. Don't know if anyone else has heard any further opinions on the cost cap from team principals. Hey Justin, welcome buddy. So we've got 10 minutes until practice 1 starts. I haven't really checked Twitter the last few hours. I must admit, guys, I've been playing the new Call of Duty this afternoon. So I've been harking back to the past. I haven't played Call of Duty for a good few years. I've still got it, guys. I've still got it. But just seeing what everyone's got to say. Not too much more information, really. Yeah, nothing at the moment. Nothing really worth of note. Yeah, this is practice free, Justin. This is practice free. Could have had 10. Ferrari could have had 10 extra mil, but it wouldn't have helped them much. It wouldn't have done because they'd still make the cock-ups that they have strategy-wise, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's been a real shame because I think, yeah, Ferrari hasn't got the best race car. They've got a quick car over a single lap, but they keep going through their tyres, don't they? Pretty quickly, have done all season, and that's really been their downfall. And then Ferrari have made some very poor decisions as well. So funny that Red Bull broke the cost cap and then complain. I know the cheek of the guy to ask for an apology. Someone in the media pen went to him. Well, you've broken the cost cap, so do you think you owe your fellow competitors an apology and the fans an apology? And he was like, well, I think we deserve an apology from some of the claims that they've made. It's like every single claim they made was true. You broke the cost cap, no matter by how much, and the only team to do it as well. That's what makes it even worse for them. So the only team to do it. I've made my opinions known. I've made it clear, but it's a bit, yeah. I don't like it for the sport, really, the way it's gone. But they're talking about it. They're talking about it on Sky now. Just seeing what else they have to say. I think it's Danica Patrick who's got something to say about it. Not Martin Brundle or... Martin Brundle's comments yesterday. Oh, horrible. I don't understand where he was coming from. Because they're great drivers and team, but they broke the rules. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that they've created the best car in the grids. No doubt whatsoever, and that is down to the great mind of Adrian Newey and just their team in general. But 400 grand, and we're forever told. This is what makes me laugh: is we're forever told in Formula One that every little advantage matters. Every slight advantage. So everything relates to time. We've seen qualifying sessions come down to hundredths of a second. Are you telling me that where a sport is down to the very minute detail, where everything matters, that going even £1 over the budget cap doesn't matter, let alone £400,000 worth? I mean, I think that's quite a substantial amount of money, to be honest. £400,000 worth. Time equals money. Exactly. And especially when it was such a hard-fought championship last year. But every team has come out and said that they gave themselves a little bit of headroom for the cost cap. So they operated like at the cost cap, but they didn't go. They made sure that they was. I don't know how close they were to the cost cap, like Mercedes and Ferrari, but they made sure that they had a little bit of headroom. That if there were any misinterpretations of areas that they thought might be a little bit, we don't know if the FIA how they'll approach that, they'll be okay. Whereas Red Bull didn't. Red Bull just went all in, guns blazing, didn't do a dummy run in 2020, whereas other teams did in regards to the auditing process. And yeah, they've been punished for it. They've tried to be smart with their accounting. Like all teams are, like all businesses are. That's what we pay accountants for. And yeah, they've been done. So still the cost cap issue, yes, French, because there's not much else to talk about at the moment until the cars get out on track. They're still talking about it on Sky One as well. Practice session 2 was a bit meh yesterday, apart from Charles crashing out. So because of the Pirelli tyre test. Second week in a row, which is very frustrating, to say the least. But yeah, we've got, how long we got now? We've only got 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes until the session starts, and we can actually see some qualifying runs. We can see the genuine pace of the cars. Therefore, Red Bull's extra pace this year was a direct derivative of the money they put in. Whoa, yeah, there's a carryover, isn't there? That's the thing. So. You at some point throughout the season, you have to allocate tight resources, and that's money and personnel, to start developing next year's car. And yeah, they've clearly made quite a head start. Well, they've got a head start next year even as well. So even with the 10% wind tunnel reduction, we're not really going to see that come into effect until second half of next year, probably not even till 2024. So they could quite very well win next year's championship as well. Which driver on the grid would you take as your teammates? Ooh, well, I would want to be number 1 driver. I wouldn't want to be a number 2. So I would want someone who is going to support me on the grid, is consistent, and can help fight on the grid. Now, I'm not as fast as any of these guys on the grid, but let's say I'm the fastest man on the grid. I would want probably a Perez or a George Russell, because they're consistent. They're very consistent. I'm only going by this year from George, by the way. As per this year, probably Perez and George Russell, because they've been great consistently. They've always been up in the top 5, and they would support you as a second teammate and help come in regards to the strategy. That's if I was faster than every single one of these guys on here, but of course I am not. So yeah, that's probably what I would do. I'd probably have one of those two. Who's up for the Haas seat? I haven't talked about this for long. Yeah, he's still up in the air. So the Haas seat is still up in the air. Apparently, Mick Schumacher is still in with a shot. There was Nico Hülkenberg's name was being rumoured not too long ago. I really don't know. I don't know who's in. Unless something else has come out recently. Last I heard, it was Hülkenberg was seriously being considered for the seat, but I don't know. I really don't know. What time's P3 start? It literally starts in less than 2 minutes, Jordan. Less than 2 minutes. We'll see cars going out on track. Do you think Ferrari is a true first driver? Follow up. Do you think Leclerc is consistent enough under pressure? No, I don't. I think for the first time in their history, I don't think they've got a clear number 1 driver. I think they've given Leclerc and Sainz kind of a level playing field this year. Sainz's performances earlier, obviously first off earlier in the year, weren't good enough. He had some lack of fortune as well by being clipped and being taken out early on in the races. But then that really should have made Ferrari straight away, you could clearly see Leclerc was going to be the man to fight for the championship after quite a few races because Sainz was so far behind. They should have prioritised Leclerc a lot sooner than Sainz. That's nothing against Sainz. And I do think Leclerc has what it takes to be a world champion. This year, I think, and I've discussed it quite a bit, I think he's bottled under pressure because he's trying to overcompensate. He's overdriven the car because he's trying to compensate for the mistakes that Ferrari have made in the pits on the strategy. So he's trying to gain an extra few tenths, an extra second or so over the course of a stint or whatever, X amount of seconds on Max, who we know Red Bull was the whole package with Max, the car, the strategy. I mean, the pit stops are faultless. Mexico was the first time they've had an issue of a pit stop, and that was only due to a gun failure. That wasn't due to them not being able to get a tyre on properly or forgetting a tyre or something, which Ferrari have done. That's just a mechanical failure which can happen with any gun at any time. It's just unlucky, but he's tried to compensate for that, I reckon, which is why we've seen him overdrive the car. If he had confidence in his team, in his pit wall, pit crew, strategy team, I think he'd drive a little bit more within himself. On the limit, but a bit more within himself. Schumacher is not going to get a seat unless there's another German sponsor coming along in favour of Mick. But there could be a German sponsor in favour of Hulk. Here we go, guys. People out on track, and we're seeing the medium tyres for the first time this week as well. So medium tyre looks like it's going to be a race tyre. Sorry, going on a bit of a tangent here, but yes, that's interesting to see, guys. Now bringing the medium tyre out, probably to do some long runs. So expect to see maybe about 10, 11 laps on these tyres from these guys, and yeah, with a higher kind of fuel load, I reckon. Yeah, but if there was a German sponsor, why wouldn't they push to keep Mick Schumacher? Because he's got the name. Hulk has been there and done it, hasn't he? So I don't know. I really don't know who's going to come in for that seat. I think the more it goes on, I think the more Mick Schumacher is going to keep a hold of it. The guy from the magical land of England. Hey, Goofy. No worries, morning. Good to see you, mate. Turns 11 and 12 DRS. Yeah, it's only a short, because we see a few overtaking opportunities every now and then down here. So theoretically, this little sector here, as it grips up, so this is where Max spun it yesterday and Charles, it's not grippy at the moment because we haven't got any supporting races here. I don't know if there is even a supporting race here at Mexico City, but we don't have F2, F3, etc. So it's taken a little while for it to rubber in. Now, this sector should, with the new regulations, allow the cars to follow a lot closer and give, this DRS should come a little bit more into play to allow cars to overtake just before they enter the stadium section. So Latifi, the GOAT. The GOAT! You seen that TikTok where they go, it's the GOAT! The greatest of all time. Any penalty news for the race? Not that I've seen. No, I don't think anyone's taken any penalties here. The only reason they'll take penalties is if they have damage, because this track is very stressful on the parts. It's very stressful on the parts anyway, because of the high altitude, because of the lack of cooling. So I expect to probably see some mechanical failures and some safety cars during the race, because you'll see the cars have got all extra cooling. Like it's crazy. So due to the lack of air density because of the altitude, they're running Monaco setups. So they're running higher downforce setups, but the car is still going quicker than it would at Silverstone, as an example, because Monza as an example, because of the less air they have to travel through. So it's crazy. So you see they've got quite big wings on rear wings on their car, which you'd think with such a long straight and not that many corners, why are they running those wings? And it's purely because they need it for the little amount of air there is up there to push the rear of the car into the floor. So really interesting. Hey, Reynaldo. Oh, thank you, buddy. Mate, we was having a good fight there. You just lost it, didn't you, as you come over the hill? Because we was on similar pace. I was like, right, we're in for a fight here, because it wasn't the biggest strength of field, was it? And yeah, sorry to see you lose it, buddy. We could have had a good one there. Hey, Matt, welcome, mate. I'm trying to reach you via your car's extended warranty. Hey, Sam, welcome, buddy. So the Aston Martins have come out. Interesting. So the Aston Martins have come out, done a single lap on the mediums, then come in, changed onto the hards, and then done a single lap on the hards and pitted. What's that about? What are they doing there? Are they just scrubbing the shine off the tyres? But Hamilton's out on a set of softs. Interesting to see if he's going for some quali runs while the track is clear. It's funny when I named the short wrong. Yeah, I completely missed that. Missed that whole word, didn't I? Magnussen has a penalty, does he? Okay. Oh, yes, because that was... Okay, yeah, that was Fittipaldi's car, wasn't it? Fittipaldi was driving Magnussen's car, so that's why he got a penalty. There is a penalty due to the crash with Alonso last week, isn't it? Credible the Alpine didn't have damage. I don't know. No, it got rescinded. Everything got rescinded from that last week, I think. Oh, yes, Stroll. Sorry, Stroll's got a 5-place grid penalty. Yeah. Yeah, I think we was talking more of like if there's any engine penalties, new parts. I don't know if Leclerc's car's back out on the grid, so they obviously got that repaired yesterday, overnight. Yeah, so the Alpine, there was this whole... So basically what happened is the mirror flew off of Alonso's car during the race once it got restarted. Now, Haas appealed that decision because saying, why did... And Sergio Perez, I said, why did Sergio Perez, because his front wing end plate fell off, why did Perez and Alonso not be called in the meatball flag to repair the car and change parts? Because Magnussen's had that done to him pretty swiftly about 3 times this year, and they felt quite aggrieved about it. It also would have meant that Magnussen gets bumped up a position, which provisionally he did, because they dished out the penalty to Alonso, 30 seconds, and then he ended up. Alpine appealed it because it were the penalty. Haas appealed the decision after the allotted time that's allowed, so it got rescinded. So it didn't get rescinded because it was the wrong thing to do. It got rescinded because Haas's penalty or appeal was outside the window of appeal. If that makes sense to you. A whole hoo-ha about everything, and just no consistency whatsoever, really. But so Hamilton's clearly done a warm-up lap, I think, with a 33.9 there. That's definitely not a full fast lap, but he's on he's on his normal run now, I think. Yeah, purple's there. Let's see what he sets here. Pretty pointless to look at those sectors there because he's only Bottas has set a time on the mediums. I hadn't had my coffee yet, Marlin. I've just finished a 100% race, so. Hamilton goes across the line with a 20.5. Okay, interesting, because that is the fastest time that we've seen this week. Because, until Leclerc crosses the line 10 seconds later. But look at that. I did not expect to see the Mercedes so close to the top 2 teams here this week. I really thought they would have issues. But clearly the high altitude, the lack of air density we have at this track is serving the Mercedes really well. They're a draggy car, but they're only a draggy car if there's enough air to make it draggy. So there we go. Physics, guys. Physics. No worries, Marlin. See you soon, man. During the Merc dominant era, was there a cost cap? No, French. No. Teams were allowed to spend as much as they liked. So they were spending around... The top teams were spending about 300 to 400 million a year. Hey, Brandon. Welcome back, buddy. How do you repair the mirror, though? I don't know. They'd have to try to. And then they'd have to retire the car. If they're not able to. But, whoa, what is... It doesn't really seem to be that much of a pace difference between the mediums and the... That's the thing, because there's not really many corners. So the pace difference between the mediums and the softs is not a lot at all. Because Bottas is generally slower than the top 2 cars in the Alfa Romeo. And I expect to see probably Leclerc and Hamilton set maybe only 2 tenths slower on the mediums compared to the softs. They might even be very similar. Wow, there's no pace difference whatsoever. The mediums, everyone is going to want to save those mediums, I think, for this race. You really don't want to use them in the practice sessions because they're going to last longer. Interesting, guys. Really interesting. Sticky tape, yeah. Bit of duct tape. Always helps. Bottas when Hamilton is nearby. James, it's Valtteri. Fuck yeah. But Hamilton's okay. Hamilton's, yeah, so that Hamilton's really doing some quali runs. Sainz with a 1:19.8. Whoa. Okay, that's a little bit more of the pace difference that I expected to see. That's 6 tenths slower Hamilton there. Leclerc 6/10 slower as well. That's more of the pace difference I expected to see. But Perez is coming around now. Let's see what Perez does. A 120.2. Ooh, of course, we still don't know what fuel they've got in the car. But I suspect that's probably a quali-ish run. That's what they're doing now, preparing for quali. What do I think of the popular tyres for the race on Sunday? The mediums. The mediums and the softs. The hards are going to be too slow. It's not beneficial to use the hards because there's not enough corners. That's why the softer tyres here are preferenced. 20.9 now from Leclerc, only 2/10 slower. Interesting to see if Hamilton will set a faster lap time. I think he's on his out lap at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know what the tyre allocation is here this week. They haven't shown that yet, Pirelli. Normally they show it on Twitter. But you'll be wanting to save some mediums, that's for sure. Could be a 2-stop race with the soft tyres. With the softer compound tyres. More likely to be a 2-stop than a 1-stop, unless safety cars come into play. So I think it'll be a medium, soft strategy. Whoa! Where has that come from, Russell? A 19.4? What? I got a little smile on my face because I think we're going to have an interesting qualifying session, guys. An interesting race. Like, genuinely, I thought this weekend was going to be boring. I really thought this weekend was going to be boring. It seems like, looking at these times, I mean, the key here will be when Verstappen comes out, let's be honest. When Verstappen comes out, that'll be the barometer. See where he goes on a set of softs. If he does like a 19 dead, then my assumptions were correct in the first place at the start of the week. But Sahar, shh, we don't want to mention them. We don't want to mention them because otherwise they'll start flying in, won't they? We don't want to jinx it. Mercedes must have gone over the cost cap. Apparently not, Sahar. So a lot of teams are saying, I'm sure we'll get detailed reports come out in regards to like a table of like overall spend of each team at some point. But apparently all of the teams left a sufficient headroom in the cost cap so that if there were any misinterpretations with the FIA and the teams, then they would be within the cost cap. Red Bull, of course, didn't do that. They played a little bit closer to the edge. So, your phone quality is so low. Ah, oh, Crinox. Sorry, man. Hopefully it sorts itself out for qualifying. But Bottas has done the longest run on a set of mediums, 7 laps. The Mercedes and the Ferraris haven't been out on mediums all week. They're just doing soft runs at the moment. So probably saving those mediums for the race, which is the smart decision. I reckon they've probably only got 2 sets of mediums here this week. Wonder how much impact the straight has this race. Hang on. See, just watching Lewis. Lewis went deep on a flying lap into the entry of the stadium. Oh, a yellow flag. Mick Schumacher stopped again. He had a little wobble earlier. Has Mick Schumacher lost it? We know what happens in this sector, guys. We know what happens. Oh no, he's got moving. Mick spun it. Mick has spun it. I bet you. If someone stops here and gets moving again, it's because they've spun it. Is it a 2-stop race? I think it is, Sahar. Yeah. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check right now. I'm going to check right now for you guys and see if Pirelli have sent any information out in regards to strategies. Pirelli Motorsports. No, they still... Come on. No, they haven't. They haven't tweeted out the tyre allocations yet. They're being quite coy. Normally they do, but they're going to do that tomorrow morning, I guess, and tell us how many tyres they've got left. they separate it down into who's got a fresh new set of tyres, who's got a set of used, etc. I'm sure there's information somewhere that I can gather from that. But I'm intrigued to see that Verstappen isn't out yet. So clearly, I think the top teams are only planning on doing quali runs here, using up the soft tyres. And Verstappen's obviously waiting to come out. Oh, yes, big spin. Exactly what Max Verstappen did the other day. Mick Schumacher hitting the curb in the S's and spinning it. I was right, guys. I was right. Who just needs more catering? Merck just needs more catering and they can win the championship next year. It's clearly whatever they're putting in the food. In those free prawn sandwiches, you know. Remy, thank you for the sub, buddy. And anyone else who has subbed and an alert hasn't come up, thank you. YouTube works that way. But yeah, George Russell looking strong. Perez, sorry, while we was chatting, snuck in a 19.8 there. So, interesting. But we still don't have Albon, Tsunoda, Alonso, Gasly, or Verstappen setting a time yet. None of them out on grid. But Leclerc is coming across the line, and he does a 1:19.9 on a brand new set of softs. Is it a brand new set of softs? I don't know. Maybe it isn't, but definitely just out the pits. Vettel coming across the line. What's he on at the moment? He's on a set of mediums, doing a flying lap. So, Bottas is out on another set of mediums. Really? That's a lot of tyre to use, guys. A lot of tyre. But who should we follow? Who's on a flying lap at the moment? So Sainz. Sainz must be on a lap, surely. Let's watch his sector times. He's following Norris. He's going to get the toe here, so this is going to help him. But let's watch Sainz's lap time, sector times here. Understandably setting a purple sector there because he's got DRS open with a toe with Norris, most likely. Let's see if he can beat Russell's time of a 1:19. I mean, he's slow through there. Clearly got a poor entry and exit for the chicane. Who's my favourite for the win tomorrow? I really don't know. I'm still going to say Max. I'm still going to say Max or one of the Red Bulls because I think... I just think the Red Bulls have still got it. But... seeing the practice sessions on practice 1 and this practice session now, I'm a little bit more hopeful that we're going to get an actual race. As I said, Mexico doesn't normally throw up good races. The leader normally just drives into the distance, finishes 20 odd seconds ahead. But it seems like Sainz is not improving this lap. It seems he's quite slower. I mean, it is his third lap on this tyre. But let's see what he sets. If he's slower, I expect this to probably be about a 1:20. Has he backed out? Seems like... oh, hang on. Norris was always ahead of him. Is that right? I thought we got ahead of Norris. Clearly, he let Norris back through and backed out of it because he's now in the pits. Latifi will prize us all and win. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Big old pile up into the first corner and Latifi's the only one to get through. Hey Matthias, welcome buddy. What are the track temps at the moment? If you look at the bottom right where it says pressure, you'll be able to see what the track temps are. So track temp is 41 degrees. That's the hottest we've seen in a little while. And the air temperature is only 21 degrees. So that just shows, because of the lack of air density we have at this altitude, we haven't even got that hot of an air temperature. 21 degrees, and we're seeing a track temperature of 40 degrees. So it could get even hotter. I expect it to get hotter. Qualifying probably will see 45 degree track temp. The Dutch Lion has joined the track. Is Max out on track, is he? He is indeed. He is indeed. So it'd be interesting to see what Max does here. So a 1:19.4 to aim for. Perez has done a 1:19.8, and you'd like to think that Perez has got it turned up this weekend because of being in front of the Mexican fans. It's the one he wants to win every single year. But of course, Max is going for the record of the most wins in a year. You're Italian, Matthias, are you? Italian English. That's right, man. Everyone's welcome in this stream. Doesn't matter who you support. Doesn't matter which team, which drivers. We're all here to see good racing, and I'm here to bring it to you. So and discuss F1. We don't. I said this last time around. We had a few toxic people in here last stream, or in the race, and I will not tolerate it. We're happy to cheer on who we prefer, but I won't have people attacking others just because you prefer another driver or prefer another team. That's not what it's about, and that's not what these streams are about. But here goes Max. So let's see Max's times. Of course, green sections are going to be his fastest lap time because he hasn't set one yet. But hang on, why did that do that? So I think Max is going to set the fastest lap here, guys. And he's purple in a lot. What do we reckon? A 19 dead? I think we're going to see a 19 dead. I hope not, so that it's actually a tighter race today. But we could see him get into. We could see him get into the 18s here. Is this what I expected it to be? Here he comes through the stadium section. This is a quick lap time. An 18.9. Here we go, round the last corner. And it is a 19.2. So only 1/10 quicker. Only 1/10 quicker, because technically that's a 2.96. So it's closer to pretty much a 1.19.3, isn't it? Okay. I expected it to be pole. I expected it to be first position, but I didn't expect it to be that close. Let alone a Mercedes that close. I really thought it'd be a Ferrari or Perez. But still the man to beat, as always, Max. Still the man to beat. Yes, Sam. Do you know what annoys me about YouTube is that you can't ban people. You only can put them into timeouts. I don't like that. I think you should be able to ban people. I mean, there might well be a way to ban people, but I don't know about it. I want to ban people from the stream, but sometimes needs must. But yeah, everyone out on track now. Everyone out on track. Alonso and Gasly. So a few medium tyres. So really what you're seeing here, guys, is... This is interesting. So the top teams are saving their medium tyres. It'd be interesting to see if they even come out and do a run on their mediums. The top 6 have only done runs this weekend on a set of hards or on hards or softs. They're saving those mediums. The rest of the field is wanting to see how those mediums are. So it's interesting. It's interesting. You're seeing kind of what type of strategies these teams are going to run this weekend. I think if any of those teams come out, oh, Hamilton's out on another set of softs. So I think, yeah, you're definitely seeing the strategies that the top teams want to win. Use this weekend. And I think if anyone comes out and runs a set of mediums for 10 laps, it's going to be a waste of a tyre and you're going to be at a disadvantage in the race tomorrow. You miss Mazepin, fun times. I don't. God, did anyone watch Drive to Survive? The Haas episode with Drive to Survive. I mean, if you had reservations or was like on the fence about Mazepin beforehand and his dad, that whole episode should just show you that he's not missed in F1 whatsoever. Just unpleasant to deal with. Credit to Gunther Steiner for having patience, really. But of course, his dad was writing a big fat old check, so he had to. But a little gaggle there, isn't it, between Russell? Russell's out. Russell is just running laps on the softs. Bit of traffic now. All being backed up. Everyone trying to get some free air. Qualifying could be an issue here, guys. We always see a bit of a backup in the stadium section. Could maybe be some penalties dished out because of going too slowly. Latifi letting Stroll through there. Hamilton is now on a flying lap. I think Hamilton's lap might get held up though, unless Gasly backs out. Let's keep an eye on Hamilton as he's on a flying lap on a set of softs. Slow through 1 and 3. Verstappen's in the pits now. Looks like Hamilton is just considerably slower. Maybe he's not pushing it that hard, or he's just genuinely slower than the lap time he's done. But I expect him to be able to do better than a 1:20.4, that's for sure. Mazepin was funny in Drive to Survive, showed his true colours, see what money brings to a sport, spoiled rich brats. Exactly. And you saw that in his driving style in F2 as well. He retaliated quite a few times in F2. I think he nearly shoved a few people in the wall a couple of times, like down the main straight. That showed flashes of, I'm not going to say brilliance, but showed flashes that like he's got what it takes. But overall, he only got into F1 because of his dad. So, but masterstroke from Haas, taking all the money from Mazepin for a year, and then he goes due to the sanctions on Russia. So, hey Pearly, welcome buddy. Yeah, welcome everyone. Russell has 0.4 seconds ahead of the rest. Yeah. So Verstappen and Russell were the clear two guys at the top. I mean, you can't really take too much into what practice 2 times were yesterday, but Russell, I think, was top of the timing sheets yesterday in that tyre test. So clearly got an eye around here. It's probably about as much as what you can take from those sessions. But I don't really think we're going to see any times that are quick now, because it's just everyone's out on track. I mean, apart from the Ferraris, I mean, it's very congested on track. So there's still half an hour of a session left, but I don't expect to see Hamilton or Russell do any fast lap times now. I mean, Russell's going 6. He's done 6 laps on a set of softs. That's interesting. Maybe to see what the degradation is like. Russia 2021 was decent for Max. Yeah, that was like his only decent result, wasn't it? Imagine if Kamek was Mazepin's teammate, he would have been crying even more. Oh, yeah, it would have been an absolute different golfing class, wouldn't it? So different. So I'm intrigued to see if Russell comes into the pits here, guys. He's done 6 laps on these set of softs already, so he's on his 6th lap at the moment. Did a 21.3 last time around. He's had a pretty clear lap this time, so let's see what the time difference is on. Hopefully he doesn't come into the pits here and continues to go on. Is he in the pits? He's in the pits, damn it. I wanted to see what his lap time was going to be there. But he did a 21.3 last time around, so the softs do drop off pretty quickly, it seems. They only have one real fast lap in them, and then they start to degrade quite quickly. So that's why the medium tyre is the tyre choice, race tyre for this weekend, and then the soft tyre is what you get. If it's a 2-stop, is what you're going to want to be on at the end. But yeah, not really anything to make note of in Sky. Sorry, heard noises outside. But yeah, Russell and Sainz in the pits. Leclerc is back out on another set of softs. Oh, Max has just chucked in a 19.1. A 19.1 from Max in clean air. So yeah, Max is definitely the man to beat here again this weekend. It's my cat. Well, that's what I thought it was, my cat. I thought it was her in the litter tray, but it's not. She's asleep up there, being a good girl tonight. But what's Ted Kravitz got to say? Just hearing Ted Kravitz talk about the Mercedes. Okay, so apparently they've made some changes overnight. They made some changes to the setup overnight, or maybe some new parts, because it is still practice sessions. You can change parts on the car. Ferrari's pit stop strategy by me. Better strategy. Medium, hard, soft. No, the hard tyre is too slow. The hard tyre, you were doing it was 124s is what we saw on practice or mid 124s on Friday. So it's too slow. It's about, on the medium tyres, I expect these guys probably to be able to do easily 121s quite consistently, or 122s. That's 2 seconds a lap slower on the hard tyres. Maybe it's a bit closer, but I don't think the hard tyres coming into play here this weekend. Unless someone really wants to play outside of the box and go long. But generally, we always get a safety car here as well because of the mechanical issues due to the first lap incident. So I think if you're trying to bank on a one-stop strategy round here, or there being no safety cars, a hard tyre isn't the tyre of choice. Sorry, no, other way around. What am I saying? It's not a tyre of choice because it's slower considerably, I think, and we see a lot of safety cars around here. That's what I meant to say, guys. That's what I meant to say. But Danny Rick down in P19 with a 21.5 as his fastest time. He's only done a long run though, guys. Don't worry yourselves. He hasn't done any soft tyre running yet. He's done 12 laps on the mediums. That's it. So that's why he's in 19th position. But in comparison, Norris is 7 tenths quicker than Ricciardo on the same tyre. So, but a few lockups there from Alex Albon or from the Williams. Breaking news, F1 to race at Mexico until 2025. Yeah, I saw that announced the other day. I don't know. It hasn't been my favourite race of the year. I'm intrigued, as I said, intrigued to see if it is going to be a runaway for the leader again. I don't think Mexico provides that good a racing. I think we're only here because of Perez, and the stadium's a bit gimmicky. We said it in practice 1. It would be so much better if the old corner was... I think this is the old corner where it went round and it was along almost like Parabolica. It was their own Parabolica. I think that'd be so much better for racing than the stadium. Stadium's cool to look at. Like, was it 30,000 people or something, or 25,000 people around this sector of the track? But it's not good for racing, is it? It breaks up the flow of the track. UK was really good racing. Should make a new layout. There's not any tracks big enough other than Silverstone to really support an F1 race. All the other UK tracks are too narrow. So, but let's have a look at some lap times now. So, as we said, the top 6 still only ever doing some soft running. We've got 26 minutes left of the session. We've got Sainz, Leclerc and Perez out at the moment. I don't think Perez is on a fast lap. No, he's not. He's just doing... Well, he's done 5 laps. So let's see. So his fastest lap, he did a 120 last time around. Bit of free air. He's not being affected by Magnussen yet. Is he going to finish this lap, or is he going to come into the pits? I bet he comes into the pits. Yeah, he's coming to the pits. Every single time I want to see their next lap, they come into the pits. Bloody annoying. So Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is on a set of softs, 4 laps in. Let's have a look at Charles's time, see what he does here. Sainz has just done a 22.4, but probably held up by traffic. But they're talking at the moment about a soft tyre start. They're talking about, on Sky, whether the guys will be on a soft tyre to start off with, because they want the grip off the launch. Maybe. I haven't really thought about that. I thought automatically you go for the mediums, but you could end up bogged down That's the last thing you want. So yeah, probably a soft tyre start tomorrow. But Perez, they're not saying what Perez is on tyre-wise. But Russell's out on another set of softs. Maybe he's on a U set. I can't imagine. I mean, how many soft tyres have they got here this weekend? He's not going to be on a new set of softs. He'll be on an old set. Most likely. Hamilton's out again as well. Wonder if Hamilton's going to try and get a fast lap in. Maybe not. He's only really set a 19.9. 8 tenths off of Verstappen. Half a tenth, well, 6 tenths off of his teammate. So maybe Hamilton's gonna try and go for a fast one here. From Missouri, welcome Tattoo. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, if you can, if you like the stream, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We will be back for qualifying as well in a few hours' time. Do you know what I can't wait to have, guys? Is a nice takeaway. After this, I am going to order the biggest Chinese you've ever seen. After this stream. And then probably miss qualifying due to being in a food coma. Yeah, 170 of you to be exact. So welcome everyone. I know you're all from across the world. Your prediction: soft, then one stop mediums. No. It'll be a 2-stop. It'll be a 2-stop tomorrow. There's just not enough tyre life. Right, where's Hamilton? So Hamilton's there. Sainz? Is Sainz going to be out? No, Sainz is... ignore Sainz and Charles because they're on a kind of a long run on the soft tyres at the moment. But Russell, is he going to get held up by Mick Schumacher here? He might get held up by Mick Schumacher. No, Mick's moved out of the way. Let's see if Hamilton can improve on his 19.9 as he comes through the stadium section. Don't talk about ordering out. You don't watch F1 apart from me? Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Hey, Pravin, thank you for the sub, buddy. And anyone else who has subbed as well. Big thank you, guys. Hamilton with an 18.5. Whoa. Hang on a second. What am I seeing? What? An 18.399 from Russell and an 18.54 from Hamilton. Nearly over a second quicker than Verstappen. What? What was that? They must have been running a new set of soft tyres then. Everyone must be running old sets of softs. So this is the true times we're going to see in qualifying. I had no idea what the fastest time was going to be here this weekend. So Russell and Hamilton clearly come out on a new set of soft tyres because there's no way they would have done that on an old set. But whoa, I saw purple come up and thought, oh, okay, like, yeah, that's just listening to Sky F1 now. So that is their quali. That was definitely their quali run, guys. That was a definite quali run. Impressed? Impressed, guys. Impressed. Paul di Resta, and I tell you what, when Paul di Resta says it, because he's not a fan of Mercedes or Hamilton, he says they are in the front. They're in the fight for the front row today. That, you know, they mean business this weekend. People there, they're saying it's not just tyre gain. No, it's improvements. Oh, hang on. I'm trying to get this to be a bit smaller. Oh, no. There we go. Back up. But wow. I completely wrote Mercedes off last week. I thought, not in Kota, I'm saying for this week, I thought this track, it's a power-driven circuit. They're a draggy car anyway. Yes, we've got the lower air density here because of the high altitude. But I just thought, oh, after seeing it at Kota with how slow they were down the main straight, And I mean, Max just making like basically a second on Lewis at Cota, just down one straight. I thought, well, they're going to be a bit of a sitting duck here. And that has just blown me apart. It's blown me away, guys. Whew. If Max P1 and Checo P2, will Max let Checo pass him? No. No, because he needs one more win, MS. He needs one more win to have the most wins ever in F1 in a single season. So he won't let him go past. If there, and I don't think Perez would want it that way. I don't think Perez would want his teammate to just move out of the way. That's not how you want to win a race, even if your home race. Like Perez would want his first win at Mexico to be on merit, not because his teammates let him pass. It's just, it goes down in the record books as a win for Perez, but it doesn't feel as good as doing it because you were the fastest man. So, I mean, at least that's what I would prefer. I don't want anyone to just hand me a race, regardless of like the emotions behind it. I'm sure it'd still be emotional. He's standing on a top step, but yeah, you want to look back on it and go, I won my home Grand Prix because I was the fastest man. I beat my teammate who's won the World Championship, has won so many races this year. Yeah, but once again, I was really hoping for a close race this weekend, and the Mercedes, I did not expect it to come from the Mercedes, but I think the Mercedes are going to give us a race this weekend with the Red Bulls. Merg has been saying that last week they have unlocked some performance out of the car, and they've included it in next year's car. No more upgrades this year. It's all about next year's car. Yeah, well, they've got the new front wing on, which they had to make just a couple of tweaks to because the FIA didn't allow them to use it last week. And yeah, they had some other areas that they brought upgrades last week as well. This track with the low air density clearly has just allowed that car to shine. It's not draggy. Clearly less air helps the Mercedes here. Kind of new to F1, but love it. Oh, brilliant, Vanessa. Good to see a new fan. How long have you been watching the sport for? Well, that's what I try and do here. I try and give you guys the data so we can't show TV coverage. But what I've learned by doing these watch-alongs is that I've missed so much information when it comes to, and the story of a whole race by not watching this live timing data and the driver tracker, because you only see so much on the TV coverage. They can only show one camera image at a time, and normally we go, some of those races were boring. It's like we didn't see any overtakes. Yet there are so many overtakes happening in a race during the course of a race, and so many stories unfolding throughout that I would have missed them on TV. Like last week, we had Vettel. They only showed Vettel coming round the last couple of corners with Magnussen. But for that whole lap, he was on the back of him. We was keeping an eye on it, and he went side by side. And I would have missed that on a TV coverage. It's only at the end we go, oh, they're going side by side at the end, because they were concentrating on Max winning the race. So, yeah, I would, if I wasn't doing these watch-alongs, I'd definitely use this now in support of the TV coverage. So, Drive to Survive is going to be really good for Season 5. Yes. So, a note on Drive to Survive, guys. I've not been a fan of... The first two seasons were really good. There was a real intriguing insight into... on TV, we never see Latifi. For good reason, though, HR. For good reason. Drive to Survive. So the first two seasons I thought were brilliant. I really loved the format. It was intriguing to see the off-track side of F1 and see exactly what happens on the pit wall during a race. And then seasons 3 and 4 were just an absolute mess in regards to editing, in regards to just creating stories out of nothing. The races they concentrated on, they changed the whole format from being chronological to chopping and changing in regards to timelines. So they'd jump to the end of the season by following one team's story, and then they'd bring it all the way back again. And I really didn't like that. First 2 seasons were best because they were in chronological order of the races that happened, and they didn't create all this bullshit drama. And go back, and I've said this before, go back and watch the last season and watch the on-track coverage that they have in Drive to Survive. Just listen to the engine noises, the braking, the upshifts, the downshifts. Just listen to how out of sync they are. I couldn't get over it. It really took me out of the whole experience of watching that show. I just couldn't look past it. Oh, Matt's saying same problem again. What's he saying about same problem? Locking up or something? But yeah, just go back and you'll laugh at it. So yeah, the new Drive to Survive season, apparently the drivers made their concerns known to the FIA or Formula One, and Formula One have pulled Netflix aside and said, you need to change how you've done the last couple of seasons of Drive to Survive, and it's a completely new format, not false drama, and just back to what made Drive to Survive great to begin with. So Fast and 40 races, there are 2 races other than Mexico. Yes. Yeah, so he currently holds the equal record with Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel of 13 race wins this year. He needs 1 more. Fully expect him to get it. I think Interlagos they'll run away with, because that is a very power-driven circuit, and I think the Red Bull will just fly away with that one. There's a little bit more thicker air density there, so that will affect the Mercedes a little bit more than it does here. But Justify made up drama. We all know that some of the drivers are friends. Justify made it seem like they hate each other. Yeah, and they used they used radio messages from completely out of context, didn't they? When it was Lando Norris, I think it was the one where it went, "Oh, he just turned in on me." He wasn't talking about his teammate. I think it was with Was it with Carlos Sainz? I think it was with Carlos Sainz, and that was from like a completely different race with a completely different driver. Not with Carlos Sainz, because they wanted to create a rivalry that wasn't there. Well, the rivalry was there, but not as like intense and like they hated each other. So they had to leave out the artificial drama. Max not participate. Yes. Apparently he is going to be in Drive to Survive next year. That's what I've heard or read for the first time ever. Ricardo, hey, Ricardo's up into P10, a 20.1 on the soft tyre. 7 tenths slower than his teammate Lando Norris, though, who is 4th with a 19.3. So, But let's have a look at some times. So Magnussen is at the bottom of the grid at the moment. The Haas, not really. Well, Magnussen's had a new engine put in. He's also a kind of a full practice session behind Mick Schumacher because he wasn't in FP1. We've got Vettel in 15th. He's only just got onto the soft tyre. So interesting to see. And Verstappen has done an 18.8. An 18.8, but that was on the 4th lap of his current set of softs he's on. That's definitely not obviously a brand new set of softs. So, and he's slowing down. So that's Max's kind of session done, I think. He might run those tyres down a bit longer. But look at the Ferraris, both stand in the pits at the moment. Not really saving those tyres, I reckon. Russell and Hamilton obviously did those times on a new set of softs. Albon up in P8 as well. Bottas, I'll tell you what, watch out for Bottas this week. Bottas can sneak. That's my top prediction, guys. I'm going for Bottas qualifying into Q3. That's my outsider for Q3 this weekend. Schumacher's a higher percentile win rate currently. Oh, does he? Okay, fair enough. What chances for Merck in Interlagos compared to last time? Well, as we just said, MSB, I don't expect them to be as fast in Interlagos as what they are here, because it's thicker air density, it's a power-driven circuit. They're going to be a bit more draggier there than they are here. A lot of Interlagos is on full throttle. The last sector, the middle to last sector is obviously the tight, twisty section, which they'll be good in, but don't really need. It's not like it's where they're going to be able to gain so much time, I don't think. So I fully expect the Red Bulls to be at the top of the pack again. Hey, Funny, welcome, buddy. Who am I the biggest fan of? I answer this question every single stream. I am the biggest fan of the Brits. So I don't support one particular driver. I've always had a close... I've always supported McLaren when I was growing up because that was my granddad's favourite team. Mick Schumacher was one of my favourite drivers growing up. And then just growing up, I support the Brits. So Lewis Hamilton as he's come through, Jenson Button. At the moment, we have Hamilton, Russell, Norris, and Albon, even though he flies under the races under the Thai flag. Always want them to do well. And yeah, and then I have other guys in there who I quite like as well. If Logan doesn't get a Williams seat, do you think DR will get the Williams seat? DR, Danny Ricciardo. Yeah, so Josh Capito, I think that's his name, the Williams team principal, said they haven't actually got a backup yet for Logan Sargent if he doesn't get his super license, which I find really bizarre. He must have a backup, surely, because he didn't gain an additional super. So funny enough, he was 1 lap short yesterday due to the red flag of gaining an additional super license point from his practice session. So he needs to, if he crashes out or his car breaks down in the last race in Abu Dhabi, then they need to find someone to step in for a year. And I don't know who that is. It could be Danny Rick. Surely they've had conversations with someone to step in. Then again, they'll have like 3 months to sort that out anyway, because the off season is from November to March. So it's not like they have to sort it out now. But you'd like to know who your driver lineup is before next season. We'll have to do the guess first 5 out of quali again last week. Yes, yeah. We'll do that at the start of next stream, Brandon. Do it at the start of next stream. Hey Edward, welcome buddy. With this pacemaker is going to give Max a toe again like last year. Yeah, so is it beneficial for the Mercedes to have a front row lockout, or would you rather... I think what Mercedes would rather is Verstappen be on the front row and one of them be, whether they're in first or third or whether they're second and third, they would much prefer to be at least one Mercedes behind Verstappen. That's what they prefer, so that they could get that toe. They can try and maybe play some games, box him in, something of the like. Because, yeah, it's a bit like Russia, isn't it? It's a bit like Russia, where the run down to the first corner is really long, and sometimes it's beneficial to start in third position than it is to be on front row of the grid. Norris P4, yeah, Norris is doing really well. And Bottas, look at Bottas with a 19.3. Sonoda's put in a good time there as well. Albon sneaking into the top 10, although Sainz and Leclerc haven't really done good enough lap times yet. They've come out on maybe a set of softs to do some quali runs at the end. Another pole for Mercedes. I think they're in the fight for a front row position. I think we're going to see Leclerc and Sainz do some actual fast laps here. It wouldn't surprise me if they've put on a brand new set of softs. So keep an eye on Leclerc and Sainz. I think we're going to see their true pace here and get into the 18s. For them to come out with 5 minutes remaining, this is quali runs from the Ferraris. Got to be. Does Leclerc have the most poles this year? I don't know. I think Max still outbeats him. I know that Verstappen has got more wins from Leclerc being on pole than Leclerc has got wins in himself being starting from pole. I know that one. That's such a crazy stat, man. Such a crazy stat. He's got... Leclerc is in the top 7, I think it is, of... A bit of a random number, but he's in like the top 7 of the worst pole conversions in F1 history. I mean, you've got to be fast enough to put it on pole in the first place. So there's that positive, but the negative is that he's not been able to convert it enough. I think Leclerc has won from pole, hasn't he? I think he has won from pole. He just hasn't won anywhere near as much as what he should have done. He hasn't won from pole this year. I know that. Is that right? Pretty sure that's right. But here goes Leclerc. Keep an eye out on his time as he comes through the stadium section. I don't know. I don't think he got caught up by Verstappen there. But as we know, Leclerc is always a little bit faster than Sainz. Let's see if what the Ferrari's true pace is as he comes round the last corner across the line and does a 1:19.1. Sainz, I think Sainz got held up by Ocon. I don't think this is quick. No, 1:19.3. So maybe Leclerc got held up by Verstappen through the S's and Sainz also got held up by Ocon. Sainz definitely got held up by Ocon. That's not the Ferrari's true pace there, I don't think. I think they got held up there. He hasn't done it this year. Yeah, that's what I thought. Bahrain and Australia he won from pole. Did he? Did he? I can't remember. It was so long back. He did. Yes, he did. First race of the year. He did. Yeah. God, that feels like so long ago now. So long ago. Quality, yeah. So quality starts, guys, for anyone who is wondering. Qualifying starts at 9... No, it's only 2 hours from now. Is it 2 hours from now? I think it's 2 hours from now. Does it start at 9 o'clock? Or does it start at 10 o'clock? Let me look. I can't remember. Here we go. Qualifying is on at 9 o'clock. Yeah. So a couple of hours from now, guys. Whether it may be in qualifying Rebel West high-paced race car on Sunday. Yeah. It's more of... as I said before, it's just the fact of it seeing the Mercedes both at the top of the timing sheets. I really didn't expect to see that this weekend. And if they can put it on the front row, or at least show on a single lap that they've got similar pace to the Red Bull. I mean, we haven't seen that all year. And generally speaking, the Mercedes has always been a better race car than a qualifying car. Yeah, let's see. It bodes well. Bodes well for a good race tomorrow, which I wasn't expecting whatsoever. Go Tiffy? Well, he's not bottom, guys. He's 17th. Vettel's down in 18th. Hasn't really done any times on the soft tyre. He's probably, I think Vettel is backing up to do a qualifying lap now. So we'll see how Vettel gets on. Starting first is nice. Finishing first, so much better. Exactly. That's been Verstappen's motto every time Leclerc's on pole. Oh, there's a yellow flag. No, all good. All good. Tsunoda, I think Tsunoda's car just stopped there. I think he had a little bit of a wobble into... Probably went over the grass at the first corner. But yeah, keep an eye out on Vettel. See if he does a fast lap here. Must be. He's on his second lap of this tyre. So, last time around was a 24.9. Hopefully no one gets in his way. I'd be interested to see where he can put that Aston Martin. Vettel having real issues with locking up here. Yeah, big lock up last lap, which is shown on TV. But everyone is coming out onto the grid now, it seems, because they get to do a start procedure. So they want to come out and do that. Qualifying is going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, guys. Really looking forward to it. Turn those notifications on. I will be setting the stream up for qualifying straight after this, so you can jump straight there, leave it on your screen or wherever. Hit the like button before it even starts, guys, because we will be here for it. Looking forward to it. That's for sure. I have a full belly of takeaway as well. So, but here comes Vettel round the last corner. Hopefully, he hasn't had an issue. Yeah, he has. He had to back out of it. Okay, so Vettel had to back out of it. 141 there. not a real reflection of that car this weekend. Stroll, I don't think, got to set a decent time either. 120.4. So, yeah, but everyone is on track at the moment because they're coming round to the start-finish straight to be able to do their start procedure. It just looks, I don't know what, I'm not a fan of the stadium section, guys. Unpopular opinion, but it's just, the cars look so slow and laboured through them. It'd be so much better to have removed the stadium and put the old corner back. Put the old corner back. Yeah, so this section in general is always quite slippery. That's why we see lots of people go off through here. We've seen guys go off here. I think fully be prepared, guys, to see people lose it through the S's in qualifying, because if you hit the inside curb here, it seems, I think it's 10. If you hit the inside curb at 10 here, which people seem to be doing, people are losing it. Mick Schumacher's done it. Verstappen, Leclerc's done it as well. So keep an eye on those S's. I fully expect they'll probably see someone lose it. Whether they'll actually crash because it's quite wide open here. But yeah, there we go, guys. There we go. That is the end of practice 3. Very interesting to say the least. Much more interesting than practice 2. So yeah, it looks like we have a qualifying session on our hands, guys. Still expect Max to make up a lot more time on that 18.8 he set there. But yeah, the Mercedes did not expect it at all. Looking very quick here. The upgrades they've brought and the low air density seems to be serving them really well. There is no ABS on MSP. There is no ABS on F1 cars. So, yeah, really interesting practice session, guys. We'll be back in a couple of hours for the qualifying session. And, yeah, I would normally stick around to chat a little bit longer, but I'm starving. And I'm going to go order a nice big Chinese takeaway and fill my boots in between now and qualifying session. So yeah, if you can hit that like and subscribe button, guys, turn those notifications on. I'm going to set the stream up as I end this. And yeah, you can hop in there, chat amongst yourselves before we start in a couple of hours' time. Pleasure as always, guys. I will see you in a few hours. Bye.